Even though it seems like there's a fresh new face in Hollywood every year, these women still know how to get all eyes on them well into their 60s and 70s. Nicole Kidman may be 57 years old, but the Aussie-born actor was still the perfect choice to play a high-powered CEO who starts an affair with a young intern in Baby Girl. Her career has been going as smashingly as ever, even though she's well aware that ageism runs rampant in the entertainment industry. As she told Du Jour magazine in 2021, there's a consensus that as a female actor, at about 40, you're done. Luckily for Kidman and her fans, she's proven herself to be an exception. Model and actor Elizabeth Hurley was born on June 10, 1965, and even though she's celebrating the big 6-0 in 2025, she looks just as good as she did during her Austin Powers days. While some other famous women claim they can't be bothered worrying about aging, Hurley is frank about admitting she works hard to maintain her youthful look. Hurley says that she moisturizes 10 times daily, including a nightly slathering of Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum, which she's been using for over 2 decades. From Demolition Man to The Lost City, Sandra Bullock's youthful looks have lasted the length of her career, but could the secret to her agelessness be her killer sense of humor? Bullock joked in 2018 that anyone can look as youthful as she does, provided they too sleep in a sealed container and avoid literally any substance that could be considered carcinogenic. The humble 60-year-old has been quick to admit that, even though she always looks great on magazine covers and on the red carpet, it's always the final result of hours of preparation. Now 66 years old, Angela Bassett started her career in 1985 with small parts on programs including The Cosby Show. She worked her way up in the industry, and in 2021, Deadline reported that her new deal for Fox's 911 was a historic $450,000 per episode. They elaborated, "This could be the highest salary ever for an actress of color on a broadcast drama series." It's been 27 years since Bassett played an older woman romancing a much younger man in How Stella Got Her Groove Back, but she looked no less stunning as Queen Ramonda in 2018's Black Panther and its sequel in 2022.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone!
Even though she didn't win the Oscar for Wakanda Forever, Bassett still turned plenty of heads on the red carpet. Laura Linney, who celebrated her landmark 60th birthday in 2024, looks like she could be in her late 40s. Nevertheless, she's matured a whole lot as an actor over the course of her career. Although Linney was talented from the get-go, the gulf between her on-screen presence as the wide-eyed and innocent Marianne Singleton in 1998's Tales of the City versus her return in the 2019 Netflix reboot series of the same name is massive. Pair that with her role as the jaded and manipulative Wendy Bird on Ozark, and you get one of the best performers on television today. All the men from Seinfeld had a tough time replicating their success once the hit show ended, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus had no trouble at all. The New Adventures of Old Christine proved that she was no one-hit wonder, and Veep earned her a staggering 9 Emmy Awards. Louis-Dreyfus didn't age much at all over the course of those shows' runs, and in the 2020s, she's been serving looks as Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, these boots are not made for walking.
At the age of 64, Louis-Dreyfus is still as beautiful as ever. Born November 20th, 1963, actor Ming-Na Wen hasn't visibly aged much since she appeared in The Joy Luck Club at the age of 30. Despite having accrued another 31 years of life experience, she hasn't lost any of her luster. The star of the original Mulan looked just as radiant as she did in the 90s when she made a cameo as an esteemed guest in the 2020 remake. Wen also got plenty of attention when celebrated her career with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2023. Halle Berry had an incredible run in the early 2000s, taking on the role of Storm in the X-Men movies and winning the Best Actress Oscar for her performance in Monsters Ball. While she's appeared in a number of critical flops since then, the now 58-year-old still puts major effort into every one of her roles. Viewers of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, no doubt remember her standout performance as Sophia Al-Azwar, the manager of the Continental Hotel's Casablanca location. Berry underwent extensive training for the role, proving that women can still kick ass well into middle age.
Sit. I was talking to you, John.
Samantha Jones, played by Kim Cattrall, was the oldest of the 4 friends at the center of Sex and the City, but she was also the most confident and adventurous. When HBO released the sequel series, And Just Like That, in 2021, it was sadly missing her presence, but thankfully, she found the time to appear in the final episode of Season 2. She's 68 years old now, but she can still convincingly play a character a decade younger than herself. If it kind of seems like Elisabeth Shue has been around forever, perhaps that's because, for 80s and 90s kids, she kind of has. Now 61, Shue rose to fame playing the love interest of the Karate Kid in the 1984 film of the same name. Starring roles in Adventures in Babysitting and Cocktail followed soon after. Plenty of younger fans know Shue as Madeline Stillwell in the first season of Amazon Prime's The Boys, where, despite being in her 50s, she looked entirely believable as a new mother having a torrid affair with Homelander.
Why have average when you can have extraordinary?
Rachel True may have risen to fame thanks to her appearance in 1996's The Craft, but her lasting youthful look isn't the result of witchery. Probably. True was pushing 30 when she played a high schooler in the teen horror classic, and she looks similarly young for her age at 58. Although she hasn't had a massive hit since the 90s, True still makes the rounds in smaller movies and on reality TV, and she looks great doing it. Born August 11, 1965, Embeth Davidtz may not be the most recognizable face in Hollywood, but she's bound to look familiar since she's been working in film and television since the late 1980s. If you're a Grey's Anatomy fan, you'll remember that she played McDreamy's older sister back in 2006, and then again in 2019, looking just as good. Playing against type, she was cast as someone suffering from rapid aging in M. Night Shyamalan's 2021 thriller Old. Pretending to be an 11-year-old child in an adult's body would be a challenge for any actor, but Davidtz pulled it off rather convincingly. Salma Hayek has been considered one of the most beautiful people in Hollywood ever since she made the move from Mexican media to American film and television. In 30 years, that status has never changed. Hayek certainly looks younger than her 58 years, and she's revealed at least one of her anti-aging secrets: the skincare product Crema de Tepez Coita. As Hayek told Elle back in 2015, it's used in Mexico for burn victims because it completely regenerates the skin. The cream has certainly done an impressive job of making Hayek's skin look good over the decades.
Always wash your face at night. Clean it. You don't have to wash it, but you have to clean it really, really well at night.
Like Ming-Na Wen, 59-year-old actor Tamlyn Tomita took the express route to fame via 1993's Joy Luck Club. Like Elisabeth Shue, Tomita made an appearance in both 1984's The Karate Kid and its sequel series Cobra Kai. Like both Wen and Shue, Tomita has been around for so long that it's nearly impossible to cover even a fraction of her work in just a few sentences, but it's safe to say she looked fantastic the whole time. Tomita's more recent appearances in shows like Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, and the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender prove that she hasn't skipped a beat. The many times Oscar-nominated Michelle Pfeiffer looks positively ageless whenever she walks down a red carpet, but she doesn't seem to agree with that sentiment, nor does she seem to care. As she admitted to People in 2021, "I certainly see that I've changed. I just try not to dwell on it. Aging happens to every single one of us. Once you accept that, it unburdens you." It's been a long time since Pfeiffer wore the catsuit in Batman Returns, but the 66-year-old still looks as good as ever before. Julianne Moore started her career on the soap opera The Edge of Night, but 31 years after its cancellation, Moore accepted the Best Actress Oscar for Still Alice. That was in 2015, and Moore has only continued to stun in the decade since. If you happen to run into her, though, you might want to refrain from gushing about how the 64-year-old is aging gracefully. As she told As If magazine in 2021, "There's so much judgment inherent in the term. No one has an option about aging, so it's not a positive or a negative thing. It just is."
I stayed out of the sun.
I know it's super boring,
But that's what I think that really makes a big difference.
Janet Jackson is the youngest of the Jackson siblings, and the 58-year-old performer is still hard at work singing and dancing for her fans. Jackson wrapped up her last tour in 2024 and took on a Vegas residency for 2025, all while caring for the son she gave birth to at the seemingly inconceivable age of 50. Jackson isn't too upset about the passage of time, though. She told Allure, "Everyone would always want to stay young and this and that, but it's inevitable. I mean, we're all going to get there." Alien star Sigourney Weaver may be 75 years old, but her age didn't stop her from playing a teenager in Avatar: The Way of Water in 2022. Years earlier, in 2009, she had told Parade, "People are going to hire me because I'm Sigourney, not because I'm 5 years older or younger." She had no idea how right she was, but Weaver doesn't need to be rendered in CGI to turn heads these days. Her role in Master Gardener, cameo in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and involvement in the upcoming The Mandalorian and Grogu have certainly resulted in plenty of buzz. But what does she think? As Weaver said to The Hollywood News, "Age shouldn't matter." Oprah Winfrey has accomplished so much in her 71 years that one might understand if she felt it were beneath her to entertain questions about how she maintains her perpetually youthful appearance. But this is Oprah, and Oprah loves to share, like when she gave today's Al Roker some lighthearted advice on his 70th birthday.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Al. It's gonna be all right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To 70.
Cheers to 70.
But what does Oprah recommend as far as anti-aging is concerned? That would be cleansing her skin, eating a healthy diet, and moisturizing with Philosophy's Hope in a Jar. Meryl Streep got her first of many Oscar nominations for The Deer Hunter, but it's been a long time since that film's release in 1978. Over the course of her near half-century-long movie career, she's appeared in more than 90 movies, playing characters ranging from Donna, the musical hotel owner in Mamma Mia, to the no-nonsense former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady. Streep's performances, which have garnered her 3 Oscars, 9 Golden Globes, 3 Emmys, and 2 BAFTAs, still wow audiences today. Even though her husband ended his 2 terms as president looking much older than he did on his first day, former First Lady Michelle Obama barely aged at all. Now 61, Obama still looks great after nearly a decade away from the White House. Even though plenty of her admirers would love to see her take a shot at the Oval Office herself, she's instead devoted her time and effort toward promoting Democratic candidates, writing best-selling memoirs, and producing films through the production company Higher Ground. Way back in 1989, Time magazine nicknamed supermodel Elle Macpherson the Body, and not much had changed by 1999 when she appeared on Friends as Joey's roommate and love interest. Fast forward to 2025, when she's turning 61, and her beauty is as astonishing as it is evergreen. Fortunately, Macpherson is willing to share her age-defying secrets, which include drinking warm water with lemon, avoiding sugar and alcohol, and lymphatic drainage massage.
I truly believe that when you're well within, it shows on your skin.
Notwithstanding Hollywood's obsession with youth and the fact that she turned 79 on July 26, 2024, veteran actor Dame Helen Mirren is still in high demand in Hollywood. Like, seriously high demand. In 2023 alone, she returned as Queenie Shaw in Fast X, played a villainous role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, narrated Barbie, and acted opposite Harrison Ford in the Yellowstone prequel, 1923. So how does Mirren deal with the never-ending passage of time? Mostly by accepting it. As she bluntly told Today, you either die young or you get older. At 74, Jane Seymour isn't having trouble booking work. In fact, she's the busiest she's ever been, and that's figured into her decision to forego some of the anti-aging tricks that many of her contemporaries use, like facelifts, Botox, and injectable fillers. She commented to Prevention, "You need a face that moves." Seymour isn't interested in acting like she isn't exactly as old as she is. She continued, "I'm not pretending that I'm not my age. I just like to look the healthiest version that I can." Even though Robin Wright rose to fame playing the title character in 1987's The Princess Bride and the luminous object of the title character's undying devotion in 1994's Forrest Gump, she's far more than just a pretty face. That's why her career is only becoming more impressive with time. Following her Emmy-nominated turn as a politician's wife turned president in Netflix's House of Cards, she trained and fought alongside Wonder Woman in the 2017 movie and its sequel. She also directed herself as a grieving widow and mother in the achingly beautiful 2021 art house film Land.
How do you navigate this part of your life, and how are you feeling?
Feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At 60 years old, Dutch knockout Famke Janssen has come a long way since her role as Bond girl Xenia Onatopp in GoldenEye. With her profile on the rise, she took on the part of Jean Grey in the X-Men movies from 2000 to 2014 and played Liam Neeson's ex-wife in all 3 Taken movies. Even though she used to model for major brands, Janssen is dressing only for herself nowadays. She told Yahoo Life in 2017, "I wear what I like, and I hope it's age-appropriate. It's harder to define age today in terms of how people act and dress. Trying to be a girl when you're a woman, there can be something unsettling about it." Born on January 20th, 1965, Sophie Helen Rhys-Jones became Her Royal Highness Countess Sophie of Wessex upon marrying Prince Edward and Duchess of Edinburgh following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Duchess Sophie is a full-time working member of the royal family and patron of over 70 charitable organizations. A mother of 2 teens, the Duchess not only looks amazing, but also possesses a seemingly ageless sense of athleticism and adventure. Just one example, in 2016, she completed a 450-mile bicycle challenge in just a handful of days. Bo Derek was the original 10, having played the object of Dudley Moore's vacation obsession in the 1979 movie of the same name, number. Now, instead of 10, the important number is 68. Derek has come to terms with the fact that she's not getting any younger, but it took some time for her to truly internalize it. She told CBS News Sunday Morning, "I realize how artificial it is, beauty. I realize that it doesn't last forever, that's for damn sure. Aging is really hard, and it's tough. Betty Davis was right. It's not for sissies. It really isn't." Sharon Stone may make aging look easy, but it's actually been somewhat challenging for the icy blonde of Basic Instinct fame. In 2001, when she was in her early 40s, she suffered a stroke that nearly killed her. These days, Stone, who appeared as the mother of Kaylee Cuoco's character on The Flight Attendant, wants to be remembered not for her ageless beauty or even for her acting chops, but rather for reminding people, if you have a really bad headache, you need to go to the hospital. Stone is 67 as of March 10th, 2025, and still knows how to get all eyes on her.
I frankly think aging is a great thing, and we're lucky when we get to do it.
Actor, comedian, and outspoken cancer awareness advocate Fran Drescher rose to fame playing the lovably immature Fran Fine on television's The Nanny, which ran from 1993 to 1999. Now, at the age of 67, she's embracing aging during her tenure as the president of SAG-AFTRA. She told Oprah Daily, "You can't overestimate what life experience brings to a person's aura. This needs to be prized, not admonished. I don't think that the maturing woman should be underestimated or marginalized. We have to embrace the new level of beauty, confidence, sensuality, and inner poise that comes with age." Actor Geena Davis looks a good 20 years younger than her actual age of 69, but that hardly seems to matter to Hollywood. According to Davis, she was once fired from a movie because the leading man, 20 years her senior, complained that she was too old to play his love interest. Today, Davis has been flying somewhat off the radar in Hollywood, putting acting on the back burner in favor of heading up the Geena Davis Institute on Gender in Media, which, among other things, is devoted to addressing ageism and sexism in media of all kinds. Jane Fonda began her career playing a sexy astronaut in the 1968 science fiction film Barbarella. At the time, not many were in on the joke being that the whole thing, including the sexy silver catsuit she wore, was intended as satire. Fast forward a few decades, and Fonda, along with her friend and co-star Lily Tomlin, has spent nearly 100 episodes of Grace and Frankie telling the world that aging is nothing to be afraid of. As she put it, a more appropriate metaphor for aging is a staircase, the upward ascension of the human spirit, bringing us into wisdom, wholeness, and authenticity.
You know, at my age, I only have one speed, breakneck. Of course, I don't call it that, because it is a very real fear.
One of the very few individuals in history to earn an EGOT, Rita Moreno was born Rosa Dolores Alvarillo in Puerto Rico on December 11, 1931. But despite being 93 years old, she still has the dance moves that catapulted her career into the stratosphere in 1961 when she appeared as the fiery Anita in the original film version of West Side Story. She proved it in 2021 when she danced for Jimmy Fallon and his audience on The Tonight Show just days before her 90th birthday, the same year she appeared as Valentina in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story remake.